What's up, crypto warriors? It's King here with an important message. You all know how much crypto has positively impacted my life. I started using crypto in 2016 while I was deployed in the military, and it made accessing my capital super easy as I bounced from country to country. I've always been in crypto for the tech since it is the future of becoming your own bank, but the financial freedom it's granted me has supercharged my life. Now, you all know I don't preach voting, but this year the stakes are high. If we don't step up and make sure our voices are heard, all the hard work we put in to get the market where it is will be for nothing. The market will become overregulated and overtaxed before it begins to take away the privacy and financial freedom crypto grants us. Well, we know our vote counts, and crypto needs us to protect our future. Make your plan or pledge to vote today at standwithcrypto.org.
Hey, here we go. Hey, who doesn't like to start off a happy Friday with a baked-in ad? But this one actually matters. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gem into Crypto episode 1242. Today is Friday, November 1st, 2024, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between the community and the crypto. Most days at 10ish today is definitely a 10ish day. And today's top stories, of course, I'll be talking about Stand with Crypto, the pledge to vote for crypto candidates this term. Donald Trump makes a last-minute appeal to crypto voters, unrelated. Paxos launches USD-backed USDG stablecoin with DBS Bank. Spacecoin XYZ unveils plans for first blockchain network in outer space. Let me see. I got to make sure also, as I think about this, that this is actually live. I think I am. Good. I want to make sure. Shout out to everybody in the comments as well. Let's see what else we have. Immutable pledges to fight after SEC sprayed and prayed whales notice. And SEC cost crypto firms $426 million under Gensler Blockchain Association says. That and much more, of course, today is FBF. No, I'm not trolling him with a thumbnail. Low-key is like I got to go in the back and switch the thumbnail, which I literally just got to Google how to do again. I was doing it the other day and it started taking more time than I wanted. So I was just like, hey, if this is troll, then let it troll on. I'm not moving on his time. We're moving on our time here. All right. So he decided to blow some stuff up. And yeah, he's still in thumbnails now. Let's see. Satoshi Slim, you know, is an important message. Let's go ahead and look right into it. Pledge your vote this year. This episode is sponsored by standwithcrypto.org. They partner with a ton of different crypto companies, maintain bipartisanship. That's something they want us to express to you all. They are maintaining bipartisanship. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. The point is to vote for someone who is here for crypto. So this is a great website. It's called standwithcrypto.org. Make sure you just take a couple seconds and click on that short as well if you get a chance to see it. To make that company feel good and inside. But it's 3 different ways to sign up or do like 3 different activities. And that's to actually get informed, to figure out who's voting near you. You can actually register to vote on the website. And then you can prepare to vote by filling out polling locations and all that good stuff. But the main thing is actually just to pledge it on here. That kind of adds that weight for as much volume as they're getting, as many pledges that they're getting, so people know that there are actually people in crypto who plan to vote. So it's a pretty cool map to look at as far as what politicians are pro-crypto, anti-crypto, so on and so forth. You can do your own due diligence. You can add a wallet, and then you also get some free NFTs. So be on the lookout later on today as well for another sponsored ad from Stand with Crypto. So shout out to them, and thank you as well. All right, let's get this show on the road. Really quick, prices. Bitcoin at $71,410, up 0.47%. Some people thought the party was over as it kind of dipped yesterday. Ethereum, dipped by a few $1,000s, not a lot. Ethereum at $2,569, down 0.03%. Number 4, BNB is at $583, up 0.35%. Solana at $172, up 1.28%. Number 8, Dogecoin at 16 cents, up 0.54%. And number 9, Tron at 16 cents, down 0.41%. And Toncoin at number 10, Toncoin at $4.93, up 1.62%. Fear and Greed Index has dropped to 59. Again, this is kind of crazy. Bitcoin is at an all-time high. And the Fear and Greed Index, of course, is lower than what you would expect. Dominance, 59% for Bitcoin, 12.98% for Ethereum. Is right. It has slipped that 13% just by a couple of percentage points as well. Give some quick shout outs to the chat. What is going on? Lord Smith, Memories of Mike, Cliff Bitcoin, Rashu, Reno Gambo, Janine, excuse me, say Hollywood King. I'm here laughing. STO Solo, JB, 5150 Gamer. Hi, Ben, Chloe Dewar. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on, everybody? Memories of Mike, did you see that flower smoke I tagged you in last Friday on X? No, so I actually just re-jumped up the X today, this week or whatever. So I had to check back through those old posts and messages. I'll be sure to look out for it. All right, top story of the day. Again, unrelated with the actual pledge to stay in crypto, just happens to be the top story of the day. And that's Donald Trump makes a last-minute appeal to crypto voters. The Republican presidential candidate, let me make sure I'm actually sharing this the proper way. The Republican presidential candidate, let's see, reiterated pledges to pardon Ross Ulbricht and for all Bitcoin to be made in the USA. Now, we know that's not happening where you can just stop the world from churning out Bitcoin and say the US would be the only one who makes it, or at least at the highest frequency like that. It's not going to happen. Definitely not overnight. But the Ross Ulbricht thing, now you have my attention. Shout out and shout out to Lynn Ulbricht, Ross Ulbricht's mother. You know, she's been campaigning and promoting hard for him like for years now to get him released out of prison. If you don't know the story, he started Silk Road, an underground website where you can buy and sell anything under the sun using Bitcoin. On that website, there was all types of nefarious things going on. The police essentially said, hey, everything bad is going on. This is your fault because it's your website. A lot of people disagree because they say, hey, that's like Craigslist. A lot of bad things going on Craigslist, but you're not going after the website owner there, right? There's a lot of bad things going on eBay or on OfferUp, but you're not going after these website owners there. So, and then, of course, it ended up being some type of murder for hire plot, but there was like dirty federal agents involved too. So it just got super convoluted. But at the end of the day, they plucked him out of San Francisco and tried him in a New York court, of course, the Southern District, I believe. And he received 2 life sentences, I believe, at around the age of 28, 30 years old or something like that, maybe 33 or whatever. So his mother, Lynn Ulbricht, has been on a campaign, like I said, for years, receiving signatures. I remember when Donald Trump was in office, she was trying to get him pardoned. So to me, when I see a pledge like this, I have to ask, why didn't he pardon him the first time? If you remember, he pardoned people like Kodak Black. He pardoned, just a slew of different members who may have had criminal offenses. I mean, shout out to Kwame Brown. I think he pardoned Kwame Brown from Detroit, the mayor there. So he pardoned a ton of people. And to me, he could have pardoned Ross Ulbricht then. It did not happen. So I'm not sure why he would be pledging to do it now. But as of less than a week before Election Day in the U.S., many people are voting early. Again, a lot of people are voting on their campaign, the crypto campaign. Who's doing crypto campaigns? A lot of people are voting in that direction. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump took to social media platforms to remind voters of his campaign promises on crypto. In October 31st, Truth Social and X post, Trump called on his roughly 8 million followers to vote for him in the 2024 election, claiming he would have all Bitcoin made in the USA if elected. Again, I don't believe that. The message included a happy 16th anniversary for the Bitcoin white paper. That's right. Happy 16th anniversary for Bitcoin white paper was yesterday, Halloween, and claims to end U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris' war on crypto, despite the Democratic candidate pledging to support the industry if elected. You can see it here where he said, hey, we will end Kamala's war on crypto and Bitcoin will be made in the USA. Just by saying that, again, it makes me like kind of think he doesn't have a full understanding of Bitcoin and crypto, which I don't think most people in office do. But again, he's reminding people this is really what he's standing on, I guess, when it comes to this. Let's see. During his time in office, Trump said Bitcoin is based on thin air and referred to cryptocurrency as a scam in 2021. Of course, he's flip-flopped back and forth. He has included promises to pardon Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht, restrict all remaining Bitcoin mining entirely within the U.S., and block the government from developing a central bank digital currency. And again, I don't think all this is possible because it wouldn't just be him doing it. His constituents would be banks, and they would not allow it to happen that smooth. But regardless, interesting to see that he is still bringing up crypto campaign promises. So I would say that is promising for the future of this market, that at least people are starting to talk about it in this way, whereas before that definitely wouldn't even happen. Let's see. Yeah, Hyben17 said, I covered a story in 2020 where Trump said he would free Ross. He only freed a bunch of rappers. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe it. I'm not believing it. I'm not believing it. I'm not believing it, right? I'm not going for the banana in the tailpipe. Speaking of the banana in the tailpipe, Paxos launches USD-backed USDG stablecoin with DBS Bank. Not really the stablecoin to me, which was interesting, but the actual fact that Paxos is launching another stablecoin, because if I remember correctly, this is their second one. And yes, on October 31st, Paxos announced the launch of its second localized stablecoin offering, USDG, in Singapore 5 months after establishing the United Arab Emirates regulated interest-bearing Lyft dollar stablecoin. I think Paxos is going to try to USDC / stablecoin every market, which again makes sense in the short term, as these markets, as these industries, as these countries need some type of token to rest on. Of course, they don't want to use Bitcoin. It's a little bit too transparent. They didn't have the head start on it. So to me, this is their way of kind of still controlling the market, using traditional means to mix with modern means. Of course, we know stable coins do that. And it's a way they can still tax it, right? They know how much is coming in, how much is going out, and where it's going. So that wasn't the news to me. It's pretty interesting that Paxos is now launching stablecoins. It looks like it is going to be the new hustle of the company. I'm not going to go too much into detail. Honestly, I feel like you would be just as good with XRP for a lot of these projects, what they plan to do outside of just the stablecoin from Paxos. But hey, keep on keeping on. Speaking of this, again, this is the segues, they write themselves, people. Spacecoin XYZ unveils plans for first blockchain network in outer space. Again, don't need to go too deep into the story. Spacecoin XYZ unveiled a plan to launch a decentralized physical infrastructure network in space, which is said will be a foundation for off-world data centers and a space economy. All right, at this point, if you don't just invest in Bitcoin, once again, this is crazy, people. This sounds like a hustle. Like Spacecoin XYZ, is this another Elon Musk project? What's going on here? They literally named it XYZ. I love the crypto community. I'm not gonna say it's like I hope it doesn't, but it's going to be very interesting to me to see this type of project get it. Well, I won't say, well, it would be interesting. I could see it getting money. I just won't understand how. If millions of dollars are thrown behind this project, I would question it, because I'm just like, what is Spacecoin XYZ? You're going to build a decentralized physical infrastructure network in outer space. Like, how much is that going to cost on the front end to even begin? Forget a network, a couple of nodes. Like, how many trips to outer space will this take? What's the price point? What's the timeline? Like, what does this roadmap look like? I'm good to go. I mean, look, I'll skim through it. I need to see like at least 3 or 4 billionaire names on this thing to make it even feel real. Yeah, of course. Listen, of course, they noted SpaceX CEO Elon Musk. This is what I mean. They're going off his grifting playbook. I'm not listening. Spacecoin XYZ. So the scams keep on scamming. I'm not saying they are, but I'm just saying in general, it's just always interesting things in space. I wouldn't go that direction with it, but who knows? Spacecoin XYZ could be the next thing that takes over this alt season. MCD, what's my take on alt season? Do you think it will happen? And is the bull market going to end this year? No, I think we'll have a bull market next year, and that's when altcoins will really take off. This year, you're just starting to get some small ones, but I don't think altcoins will go crazy this year unless we get like a 90-something K Bitcoin. Then altcoins will get a nice little pump. But until then, I do not see it happening. Let's see. What else do we have going on? Immutable pledges to fight after SEC sprayed and paid Wells notice. This was a messed up one, but to be expected here. Blockchain gaming platform Immutable says it received a Wells notice from the SEC over the alleged securities law violations within hours of its first interaction with the regulator. That's right, because they're not your friend. Crypto gaming platform Immutable has pledged to fight any potential enforcement action from the U.S. SEC after receiving a Wells notice from the regulator. In a November 1st statement, Immutable said that while the SEC did not specify its allegations in the notice, it believes the agency's claims are targeting the listing and private sales of its native IOMX token in 2021. Yes, you selling a token, they didn't get their taste, they're coming after you. They're saying this is their latest de facto policy or regulation by enforcement. They received this within hours of their first ever conversation on a timeline clearly accelerated to land before an election. Goodness gracious, that means like in the next week. Sadly, stories like this are becoming less surprising each time. We see an increasing number of companies like Coinbase, Consensus, Uniswap, OpenSea, and Crypto.com face SEC escalations, many in the last 2 months. With this latest move against Immutable, the SEC's overreach continues and expands into gaming. So I'm not exactly sure. Well, like here, the gaming platform said it engaged in a 10-minute call with the SEC shortly after it had already issued the Wells notice. And they talked about their IMX token back in 2021. That's why they received the notice. They said, once again, the SEC is incorrect. There is real consideration, which they have learned through a constructive dialogue with the company. So my thing is, I'm not sure how the conversation initially happened. They're not really saying that, the SEC called us, we called them, and then so I'm not understanding how this initial interaction happened. But what I do know from what they're saying, Immutable is saying that, hey, after the initial interaction, whatever that was, we did receive a Wells notice. So I would assume after all of this time, the SEC probably approached them, because I don't see them approaching the SEC after this time if they didn't do it for a token launch. But it's also one of those things where you already know what time it is. Like, they're not coming to be your friend. We haven't seen at this time a place or something the SEC has done where it's been like just super crypto friendly for companies, where a company says, I want to go to the SEC with all of my business. We haven't seen anything yet to make a crypto company want to do that. So I'm going to assume they probably reached out to them first with the last minute bill. The election's coming. We try to get as much money as we can for this last week's push with the current administration. This is my guess. And yeah, we're going after every company we can go after. So, and maybe it's not even for this administration. Maybe it's just big government in general, federal government, saying we're going to continue to go after these companies, whether it's, again, this is going to be a bipartisan push, whether it's Democrats or Republicans in office, we're going to get these crypto companies taxed. So regardless, it looks like they already plan to go after them if they had this notice prepared. But again, this is why I said self-regulation. You have to push back against the federales in this point of view, because they're going to just take and not give back, or even consider giving back until it's too late. It'll be years later, as we saw with XRP. Once they won their court case and things got appealed and so on and so forth, it'll be years later after they've dragged and bleeded out your company before you can come back and say they're wrong and the courts agree. But the whole time, you're going broke or bad things are happening to your project or your company. So shout out to Immutable for actually trying to fight back. They might actually have them on the 2021 thing. Why? Because they've already gave an inch. So now that, the government's going to take them out. What I mean is that a lot of companies essentially said, fine, these are STOs, these are securities. We can't do token launches. Like the industry shot themselves in the foot by and large by agreeing with the metrics and the standards the government set post ICO craze. So I can see this coming back to get them in court. Only way it may not is if they can really kind of center on them being a gaming company, and this is for gaming stuff where you've already seen this type of stuff in games. And then also there was still a lot of gray lines in 2021, as there is right now. But we'll see. But shout out to them. Like I said, it seems that they plan to fight it. That's always a good thing in this market. Let's see. I have a feeling Bitcoin will pump on a Trump win Tuesday night, liquidating shorts. Then on Wednesday morning, Kamala will be the actual winner, and the markets will dump hard. I could actually see that. A little misdirection with the winner, and then the markets go parabolic, and then again settling down the next day or so. I can see that happening. All right, last but not least, again, this goes along with the theme of today's show, and that's standwithcrypto.org. Make sure to pledge your vote and Stand With Crypto. Again, they have 3 cool NFTs. I'll be pushing out another video later, but the SEC cost crypto firms $426 million under Gensler Blockchain Association says. The advocacy group called for crypto voters to support a change in leadership at the SEC, given Gary Gensler regulation by enforcement, which we just saw approach since 2021. Again, Stand With Crypto is doing bipartisan voting. They just want you to vote for crypto candidates, people that will increase our presence in not only our regular market, but the financial markets as a whole. And I say all that to say a lot of the partners, including Coinbase, who's dumping money into Stand With Crypto, are doing it because of this. As an industry whole, they're looking at it like, whoa, we're losing almost $500 million just off the SEC meddling. So if we can change the legislation, or at least change how much they meddle just by voting for a certain person or persons, then that's the theme right now. That is what the industry and the market wants to do. So again, standwithcrypto.org is a great resource to go to figure out how to vote for crypto candidates, or at least consider it if you have not already. But it's funny to kind of see this article come out today, as along with all of this push for the marketing of Stand with Crypto and voting for crypto. It's like, this is a concerted push by the industry right now. And shout out to the industry. This is self-regulation as well, by making sure the people who are voting out there are looking at crypto candidates. So the Blockchain Association, a cryptocurrency and blockchain advocacy group, reported that the United States Securities and Exchange Commission had cost companies at least $426 million in litigation. Oh, that's just litigation involving digital assets, and Gary Gensler took over as chair. That is a crazy number. $500 million to lawyers and judges and everything else. And this is why they want to regulate the market. It's not to protect you, it's to bring in that dough. In October 31st, update to his regulation by enforcement page, the Blockchain Association reported that the SEC had brought 104 cases against the crypto industry from 2021 to 2023. According to the association, self-reported data by BA member companies, a small slice of the industry suggested that crypto firms had spent $426 million in defensive litigation against the regulator. That is crazy. The industry and the American voter is ready for a change and a fair shot, said the BA. The time of lawfare against our industry must end. That begins with the change of leadership at the SEC. So again, Blockchain Association is making a serious push this week and next as well, with other organizations, like I said, like with Stand with Crypto, to change this from happening and to actually go out and vote, including when it comes to, like, you know, how the SEC chair is getting picked or appointed or voted on as well. So interesting to see. This has been a long time coming. You know, it would be good to see a fresh chairman and just a whole, everyone in the SEC needs to rinse, wash, and repeat. Like, we should get a whole slew of new executives in the SEC that are more modernized and see how they approach crypto. Again, I still think we need a hands-off approach to where there isn't any heavy regulation to it, at least for a few more years, because we're still in the innovation stage. That stage was stalled the last few years because of the pressure on the market and community. So I think it'd be a good thing to see a hands-off approach, laissez-faire, let the market does what it do, or if anything, be encouraging to say, hey, crypto companies are getting tax breaks or are getting grace periods in the U.S., things like this, so you can see this type of innovation come back to the U.S. But right now it is overseas because everybody is scared to do it in places like the Southern District of New York, where they're essentially saying you will go to prison for dealing with Bitcoin and crypto here. Let's see. I need Bitcoin to be near 60,000. Shout out to all the bears. Never thought I would hear that one, right? Wishing for a $60,000 Bitcoin. Hey, shout out to Jake Fever. He was telling everybody it was 30,000. Like, that was going to be the deal of the century right there. It looks like that is true. Other than that, that is the show for today. Again, make sure you check out that short sign up and pledge with Stand with Crypto. Later on today, there'll be another small short coming out that talks about the free NFTs. Again, you get 3 free NFTs. That's why you can sign up with your wallet here as well. 3 free NFTs if you make a pledge with Stand with Crypto. It's super easy to do. And it takes like less than a minute or two to really sign up and get those NFTs back. So other than that, that is the show for today. Shout out to standwithcrypto.org. Podcast has been updated. This show will be on there within the next couple of hours as well. Smash that like and share, and I will see you all next week.